Hi, everybody. How are you doing? How are you all? I hope you are doing great. This is Petal. Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. As we are as we are having a very impromptu mic testing day, so I am hoping as I bring this music down, I am hoping that you are hearing me because I apparently, when this mic is plugged in, I can't hear anything. So I don't know. So I'm gonna go in comments. Hi everyone. Oh my gosh, I have friends. I thought if one or two people join me, and that would be a lot. But if you guys can let me know if you're hearing me, because I couldn't even hear the music playing or anything. It seems that this mic shuts me right out. So if you could give me a thumbs up or let me know that you're hearing me, that would be oh, Kim says she could hear me. Yes. All right. And so, hey, Nelly Dean. Yes, and Nelly could hear me. Hi, hello, my friends. Teresa says, "Oh, giving me thumbs up." Yes. All right. So, hey, thank you, Cookies and Cream. Cookies and Cream can hear me. Yes. All right. Um, this is awesome because, as I said, I am testing a new mic, and thank you guys so much for your support, because it's because of your support, whether it's just listening to the broadcast or, your financial support, but you've helped me to get a mic. I've never had a podcast mic before, and uh, and so this is really great. I wanted the sound to be improved, that I didn't sound like I was in a tunnel. And so I thought, well, let me try a mic. And so because of your help, I was able to get a mic. And so tonight I'm testing it. I was gonna do this tomorrow, and I just got the mic, and I was like, but let me just test it right now. I just got a little impatient. And so I'm testing it. So you guys can let me know if it sounds, I don't know if you could tell if it sounds different from other times, if you remember, but if you can let me know if it sounds any better than the other podcasts, or if it's just the same or what. I mean, I'm hoping it sounds better. But you guys can let me know, if you can just, shoot me a note and let me know if it sounds clear and nice and all of that stuff, or maybe it just sounds the same. I don't know. But welcome, 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 all my awesome friends. Let's see who is here. Well, I know Church Nelly and Lydia here is here. Church Nelly was laughing at me earlier. I was telling her I'm doing my mic testing tonight, and so, like I said, it could go very good or very, very bad. Robert says it's crisp and clear. Yes. Angela says it sounds good. Oh, yes. It would have been really bad to get a mic and then it doesn't sound good. That would be really great. It would really be awful. So, again, thank you guys so much for helping me to get a mic. Yes. So, things are moving up again. Welcome. So, let's see who's here. Ladyfoot, Ty, MLC, Agnes, Emade, Kate, Mara, Anna, Fancy, Robert, Angela, Cookies and Cream. Um, well, Church Nelly, you were here, of course. Fancy, Agnes, Iris, Anna, Kate, Kim, Mama Jane, Iris, Mav, Church Nelly, what's all those things? I don't even know what that emoji is. Susie Q, Black Queen, J. Kerr, Mary Brown. Oh, guys, thank you so much for this impromptu mic testing night. Kim Dolores, I see all of you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out with me. If at any point this mic, again, it's a test. If at any point this goes out, please let me know, because I can't hear anything. It cuts out all the sound from my end. So oh no, Anna is saying that I'm cutting out some time. Ooh, sound no. You cut out sometimes. Ooh. Okay, so am I cutting out for everyone? Is this sound going in and out for everybody? So just let me know, or if it's just if you heard everything that I said. That would be really helpful. Oh gosh, I hope this mic works. um, so yeah, if you could let me know if yeah, if it cuts out at all. Ty, thank you so much. I appreciate your um your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you guys. Your help got me a mic, so thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So Emily says she can hear everything. Day says, for me, not for me, you're clear. Okay, great. So Kim is saying she can hear everything. Okay. So I hope it I'm just hoping that it stays that way. And hopefully if it's not, if you whoever it's not, maybe also check your connection as well. That could also be a problem. So thank you guys so much. Again, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. As you know, this is a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Dora, Pula, Guy, the chickens, and all of the Invictus family being a part of our family. It is awesome. Thank you guys so much. And so there is like all this stuff going on. It's also sort of like, odds and end things going on with the Sussexes. And then of course I realized I hadn't been online for the last few hours, well, probably an hour and a half, maybe. And so I'm like, maybe I missed a whole lot of stuff there too. I don't know. Maybe I missed a whole lot of stuff going on in the last, how things are. All of a sudden, you're not online for like about an hour and you come back and the whole world is gone upside down. You know how that happens. So I don't know. If something happened in the last hour or so, I don't know. I missed it. So, but anyways, just some odds and ends stuff that saw that was going on with our faves and with our British royals on Shutter Island. But just before I even get to it, I know like my last my last podcast, I had a lot of comments and somehow it didn't go over very well in some ways. And I know, I mean, I'm hoping you guys know by now that I am where I am, and I try in every way I can to be as real and authentic in every way possible. So I think you guys have seen or have heard or experienced all my different emotions. And so I I mean, I don't know how to fake stuff, and I really don't know, and I don't ever want to do that. I always want to be real in every way. So I am where I am when I tape things. And there are days I'm going to be happy, and there's days I'm going to be sad. There are days I'm going to be disappointed. And so my last podcast, I was disappointed. And I was going through disappointments. I taped it on Sunday and in the brunt of hearing, the Pearl thing. And I was going through a lot of sadness for it, and I was also going through feeling disappointed. And so when I taped it, I was in that space. And so it wasn't the most cheery, I think, obviously, because I was going through disappointment. And so I know I responded to some of you who had just don't touch nothing close to star. Okay. Oh, Mary's telling me not to star anything. Thank you. Church Nelly told me that too. I am promised I am not going to star anything because I don't want anybody disappearing. I didn't know that was a thing until today. So I'm not starring. I'm not starring anything. But anyways, going back to my story, or what I was saying, yeah, I was going through some stuff on Sunday when I taped the last episode. And yes, I was going through some really sadness, and I felt sad and I felt disappointed of the situation. And then also too, I was looking at it as a producer, who have been through, definitely not on that level, but what it feels like to work on a project and then it pulls out from under you. And so I was going through all those feelings as well. And I think it brought up all of those because, yes, I produce film and documentary. And one of my films, the day we were shooting, we were supposed to shoot. Everyone's there, food, people, cast, everything. And we had to cancel it. It was like literally pulled out from under us. And so I think I was going through all those feelings and feeling what it would be like for the staff and the crew that, they lost their jobs and all of those things. So I think I was going through all of those things. So the last podcast, it wasn't a cheery because that's not where I was. And so, I say all that to say, look, we are human when nobody here is a robot, and I try to be my authentic self in every way, and hopefully that gives you room to feel like I could say how I feel. If I feel sad, I feel disappointed, I feel mad, glad, those feelings: mad, glad, sad, afraid, and embarrassed. I hope that, me sharing whatever would help you also too to feel like you can share whatever you're feeling and not feel like even if something is disappointing, you have to be cheery. No, just be yourself, be your natural, normal self, because that's who I try to be. So again, today I'm in a better space, better headspace, as you can probably tell. It's been a few days removed, and got a moment to work through my feelings, and now I'm in a better space. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, and to let people know, yes, because I was in that space doesn't mean that I don't have faith in Pearl. I mean, gosh, we need Pearl. And so I have total faith that, again, like I said the last time, it's not canceled. It's just gonna most likely be on another platform, because there are tons of platforms to shop it to. So I have complete faith in that, and and I am excited to see where they'll take that from. So I just wanted to address that, so that yes, I I wasn't in that space of cheery that day. Today I feel better. So there. Moving on. Oh, somebody just donated. Thank you. So, Elaine, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you for getting a super sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Um, thank you. And so, on to what we are going to talk about. And oh God, I'm so glad this mic is working. Thank you, Lord, for your mercies, and for all my friends who donated to help me get this mic. I appreciate it. So, anyways, so it's just some again, odds and end things that I saw online, and I just thought it was so cool. So this is like I guess it's a magazine, a photo magazine, guess, from the Netherlands, and this was their photo of the month, news photo of the month. In The Hague, Prince Harry embraces an athlete who looks like him during the Invictus Games. And it's so funny. I didn't realize that until he said it. I was like, yeah, they kind of look like each other. They're both redheads. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's just, again, the Invictus Games just keep giving. And I just like, nobody can let go of this thing. Not yet. Nobody really wants to let go of it. So I just think it's so awesome. And it goes on to say, The Hague, Prince Harry hugs a veteran who participates in the Invictus Games in The Hague. You can see him in the picture cuddling. It was like cuddling with one of the athletes. He has also done that all week, says Edmund van Arum of the ANP. And that is why this photo is The Hague's news photo of the month of April. And I'm like, I just thought it was so beautiful. And it just, there are so many pictures, that could have been picture of the month from the Invictus Games. And that one is so special. And I think one of the reasons it's so special, because the first part of that picture that I saw is the one on the left, that Misan Harriman, you guys know Misan Harriman, who did you can see the little photo on the right, the bottom right. He's the one that photographed Meghan's pregnancy photo. And so he took the photo on the left, and that was the first of that photo I saw. And that was just the other side of that same photo, is the same vet that was hugging him. You see his hand over Harry's head. And that was the first time. And Misan had said about that photo, he said, a truly extraordinary moment between the UK team member Tony Young and Prince Harry. The prince was visibly moved after the embrace, and tears were flowing all around the stadium. And obviously, shot by Misan. That's how he tags his pictures. And I just thought, oh my gosh, when I the first time I saw that, I was also, and then I read his caption, I was like, oh, that was so beautiful. And it just, that has been Harry the whole time. I mean, so many people talked about, and I'm sure you guys have read just about how special it was. Just, and you can see it, the hugs and just the kisses. I mean, and I think that's the thing I love about Harry. He is just he just makes you feel loved. Whether it's a hug, a kiss on the head, a high five, a bro hug, whatever it is he's doing, it just, I don't know, it just makes you feel so wonderful. And I loved it so much. And so again, this part of the photo was the first one I saw. And then obviously the the paper showed us the front part of it. So I just was like, oh, that is just so sweet. The Invictus Games just keep giving. And you can see Misan here, and you guys know that he is a great friend of Harry and Meghan. It was Meghan's friends first, and then obviously both of theirs. And when Meghan left to go back to the US, Misan came in a couple of days ago and spent I think he was there, actually, yeah, he was there through the end of I think the last few days. He was there to the end of the Invictus Games, because he was there at the closing ceremony as well. And so I love their friendships. I love their friends. And gosh, their friends are so incredibly talented. Misan is amazing. Does a lot of work for British Vogue, even though British Vogue is still in my doghouse, and Edward Edenfield will forever be in my doghouse. But his work, Misan's work for the Vogue, is beautiful. So that's what I say on that. But I just thought that was beautiful. And again, talk about people not being able to let go of the Invictus Games. And one of the things I keep talking about all the time is how amazing the embassies were, and throughout the games, and supporting the veterans, the embassies and the defense departments from the different countries. And I had no idea until this time how amazing and supportive the embassies and the defense departments were. I mean, I am so impressed. And so this is the Romanian team, and it says, the bottom part of it with the Google Translate at the bottom part. I was just like, I can't read Romanian. So, of course, thank you, Google. Awarding the military of the Romanian team that participated in the Invictus Games, The Hague, the soldiers who were part of the Romanian team at the Invictus Games 2022, recently held in The Hague, were congratulated by the Minister of National Defense, Vasil Dinciu, I'm hoping that's how he says his name, during a ceremony. And I love that so much, because so many of them, when they went back to their country, their defense department honored them. And again, it highlights for me. And again, before this year, I didn't know. I mean, I knew, of like the Invictus Games was important, but I just didn't get until this time how big, how important these games are to the Defense Department, the embassies, the different countries. Like, this is a big deal, and so I have just been blown away. And again, I will always, rag on the British government, how they just, completely ignored their vets. Thank God for the British Embassy and the British Defense Department. They were wonderful. And so yeah, I love this so much. And I'm sure, I can only imagine how important and special these vets felt, and how honored they felt. And it's just like, oh, the Invictus Games just keep giving. And I just hope it just keeps going on, because no matter what the days, or no matter how, maybe discouraging things are, well, I love that I love that that the Invictus Games just give us something positive to go back to. So I am just I love it. So anyways, moving on. Oh yeah, I think it was it last episode or the episode before I had mentioned because I saw this tweet um for Travelist, where this professor, he is now a part of Travelist, and it talks about him being at Surrey, the University of Surrey, and apparently that's like a big deal in the travel industry. Who knew? But it turns out it says this is the University of Surrey tweeting out about it. It says, as an independent advisor, Professor Xavier Font from SHM SHTM Matsuri met with Travelist and its founder, Prince Harry, during April's Invictus Games. He has been advising on frameworks to collect sustainability data for tourism, accommodation, and aviation carbon emissions. And I was just like, oh, I didn't realize that in the middle of Prince Harry doing all the stuff that he was doing for the Invictus Games while he was there, he was also meeting this professor there about Travelist. And I was like, I'm telling you guys, Prince Harry that man is amazing. And he is probably one of the most underestimated people that I have ever come across. It's amazing how the UK and people in the UK and the royal family underestimate this guy. I don't understand how they could be so blind, but this is amazing because again, he is there doing Invictus and he's so involved in everything. And here he is meeting about Travelers, and again, of course, during the middle of it, we heard that, it's everything Google and all of that, and I think TripAdvisor and all of that have all now officially adopted the Travelers model that, for carbon emissions, whatever they're going to put on their site for, whether it's green hotels, etc., or carbon emissions from airplane, etc., they're all adopting the Travelers model. And so I'm telling you, Prince Harry is an amazing man. And it would be, it would be, I wait for the day when the penny drops on the people in England for them to understand who it is that they just let go and who it is that they have been abusing and calling stupid. Because I'm telling you, I am so impressed. I am so impressed. And, I always remember when Oprah was talking about when they were working on the Me You Can See, and Harry would be the first one. She thought she was early, and Harry would be there, and he would be there waiting on her. And, he would come prepared with his notes and all of those things. And it's like, whoa, I'm telling you, if you can impress Oprah, then you're doing good, And so I am so impressed. I'm like, you go, Prince Harry. So yeah. But Nubian Queen. Hi, Nubian Queen. She's like, I'm going back to bed. Oh, well, good night, Nubian Queen. Thank you for dropping by. I know it's late for some. That is completely fine. So I will see you next time, Nubian Queen. Thank you for coming by and saying hello to us. But I'm really excited about that. About all the things that Prince Harry would do. And I just think this story was one of the cutest things that I've seen in such a long time. And so I don't know, it popped up on Twitter a couple of days ago. And I just didn't I saw it, but then I didn't really quite understand what was going on until I just had to read it through and read it. I was like, oh, this is what is happening. And so I saw it's just the cutest thing. And so this is what it says. This teacher from the Ord Public School, she says, cheers to Miss Padmore, grade 2 and 3 class, for entering into the Books to Kids First Book Canada's competition and winning national recognition for their book Continue the Adventures Part 2 from the book The Bench by Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. And if you can see from the picture, what they're doing is they have the bench and they are doing a part 2. It's like the bench continued. And so they are doing a part 2 of the bench. And it's just, I just thought it was the cutest thing. And so their part 2 their part that, and you can see what it is there. So their part 2 is, it says the challenge continue the adventure. And so this is what the part 2 of the bench from little, I think her name, if I could read this right, a little Stuma or something, Shuma, little Shuma from grade 3. So this is the bench part 2, and it's called The Home. And so Schuma's part 2 of the bench is, this is your home, where your life will begin for you, and it looks like me, either me or us. At home, you and me are safe from the rain and safe from the unknown. Your home will help you to stay happy, I think it says happy. Your home will help you to make happy memories. Your home will help you to grow, learn, and play. This is your home, where your family will always be with you. By Shuma, grade 3. Original book, The Bench, author the Duchess of Sussex. And I just thought this is just such a cute idea. So now I'm like, well, okay, well, since the home is part 2 of the bench, what's going to be part 3? If they continue. And apparently this one, some, I guess, little competition thing that they were doing. And I just thought it was the cutest thing, and how inspiring, and just like, oh, that is so creative. So you give, the kids had this wonderful opportunity to do the bench part 2. And I'm like, now I just never thought of that before. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I am, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, I think because too I taught kids, so this just means it meant so much to me to see that. So I just love it. I'm like, you go, Megan and the bench, that little engine that could. So let's see what you guys are saying. Blacklight. Oh, she says, hey, Governor Prince Harry of the great state of California. I'm telling you guys, that's my prediction. Hey, there was what is it? Was it Saved by the Bell, I think? The new version of it where Zach was telling Slater, I think it was Zach, was bemoaning his life, and Slater was saying, something about Prince Harry being the governor of California because he was popular, and so and they're like, yeah, Governor Prince Harry is doing great. So hey, this is not too far off. There are other people too thinking, hey, Harry could be governor of California. He doesn't have to be a U.S., citizen. Not citizen. I mean, he doesn't have to be born in the U.S. So, I mean, I think that's only if you're going to be president, you have to be born in the U.S. So you never know. Harry could be the governor of California. I think it would be fabulous. And Agnes says, the penny has dropped, but they are pretending that their false narrative is sustainable. You know what? I think you have an absolute point there. They know, and I think that's why they're trying so hard to discredit him and to make him look that, because they know how amazing he is. And you have a great point. I think you're completely true. It's completely true. So Teresa says Prince Harry be putting in work, and we don't even notice sometimes. So proud of him. I'm telling you, what's not to be proud of? He is awesome. I am just so happy for him and Megan, and that they're doing so fantastic. Um, Angela says, very smart and amazing. He doesn't talk and talk. He doesn't talk the talk. He he walk the walk. Yes, exactly. And I'm telling you, and he could talk and walk, and which is what he's been doing. So it just yeah. How many people, even the ones that, criticize him, are going to be checking carbon emissions on, wherever they book their travel, and not even realizing or even acknowledging that they only got that because of Prince Harry, and it's just unbelievable. Hawkeye L. Helen. Oh, this is morning for you. Where are you, in Australia? Might be. Good morning, Hawkeye Ellen. How are you doing? Welcome to our mic testing live. So awesome that you are here. Hi, Terry. Terry says, that's so cute. So she's inspired by the bench. Yeah, and I think it's a whole class project, actually. So this is the one that they shared. And so maybe she's the only one who did the bench, or maybe it's a whole class who did it, but that's just the one they featured. But I just thought it was just it's such a cute idea. So give kids a continuing, exactly. Um, whoa, Matricianelli's like continuing the bench. Yeah, I mean, and to see them put their, and I love how she did it. And she's like, "This is your life, or this is your home," you know, where you and I will live. And this is, and it's just like I love how she took it from the bench, like this, like this is your bench, and this is your home. I love it. I just, I absolutely love it. GM says, good evening, panel. Oh, wonderful podcast. Thank you so much, Gail. I so appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the encouragement. Cookies and oh, sorry, cookies and cream. I was getting all excited and going straight, straight. So sorry, cookies and cream. I just jumped into your conversation. Whatever you were saying, says I agree. The unroyal family is repeating the same jealous behavior with their smear campaign, lies, bullying, like before after the Oceania tour. That's their method of operation, and absolutely, yep, yes, 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 yes. Anything to pull down our faves, and but it just, I mean, the fact is, no matter what they do, Meghan and Harry are influencing the future generation. I mean, this little girl is in third grade, and look at what she's doing, writing the continuation of Meghan's book, and so this is what you want. This is what you want to see, that whatever they're doing, they're influencing the future generation. Church Nelly's like, okay, Lil Schumer has better handwriting than me. I'm telling you, she's got better than mine too. I mean, we haven't been writing lately. We've all just been typing. So it's like, it's very rare that I literally handwrite anything. So mine has gone to pot. I mean, if you're from the Caribbean, that is something that is practiced. I mean, you had to have proper handwriting when I was growing up. And so I had really great penmanship. And now that's just all gone away because I don't really write anymore. I type everything. So yeah. Fire says, did you hear they're calling Meghan out again? An anonymous source told them that Meghan was having a terrible Aussie tour, that she hated it, and she was wondering what the need of it is. Of course. I mean, expect that. What the point that's happening is everybody has been ragging, including today. I mean, we're going to talk about it in a second, including today an article by Scobie talking about just the Charmless offensive tours. And so of course, I mean, you're going to expect that they will try something to find a way to really go after Meghan about Meghan really about the tours. It's just that's what they do. Again, we don't need to engage in their nonsense. And if Meghan had any problem with the tours, I'm sure it's not with the people there. Could if she had, I mean, looking now to see how they do tours and their mindset going into tours, Meghan and Harry think of these things very, very differently. They're about the people. They're not about just going and smile and laugh in whatever and not bring anything to the table. They are about the people and about, whatever the organizations they are doing. That is not how the royal family work, as you could see from the Caribbean tours. So I'm sure maybe there are things and logistical things that Meghan didn't agree. Knowing how how she operates, and it's very different from how the palace operates. you know, could there be differences? Sure. But, to say like she hated the tour, no, I don't believe that at all. I mean, especially not the people. Meghan and Harry about people. They are people, and about helping organizations and being there. And, I'm sure a lot of the things they did on the tour was very much not the way, of the royal protocol, like, they're holding hands and all of that stuff and being on the beach and Harry's hands is on her leg and all of that stuff. Very anti, very different from, not anti, but very different from royal protocol. So they did their own thing. So I think, if there were any differences, they're just trying to make it about, and do it the way they can do it to feel, to make it feel like something that is I can't even speak to explain what I want to say, but try to make it something closer to what they could feel good about. So again, everybody has been down with the Charmless offensive tour, so of course they're gonna try to rag on Meghan in some way. But there are enough pictures of Meghan just loving up on the people of Australia to disprove all that nonsense. So yeah. But let's see who else is chatting. That little girl got inspiration for the bench. Greatness coming from Meghan. Yeah, I'm telling you, when you are able to inspire kids like this, kids, and if you guys have, if they don't want to do something, it's just not going to do it. It doesn't matter where you can scream, moan, beg, whatever. If they're not interested, if they're not inspired by it, they're just not going to do it. And to see this, I mean, this is just wonderful. And it is just, and again, that's why the royal family is doing everything to get them down, because they know that it's Harry and Meghan who are the future, and all that they're about is the past. So they are doing everything they can to, yeah. So, let's see. Fire don't repeat lies. Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, the tabloids, it just, they will do anything. Yeah. Lydia, hello everyone in the chat. A neighbor came over and expected. Oh, that's okay, Lydia. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hang out with your neighbor. I'm sure they need your love and your whatever it is they need. So thank you so much for hanging out. Hopefully you could come back by the end of it, but that's okay. It is all right. We'll be totally okay. Say hello to the neighbor. Let's see who else is chatting before we go on quickly. Hawkeye Helen says, "Oh please, the Australian tour was perfect." I mean, there are so many beautiful pictures. I mean, and also too, it was part of the Invictus Games was there. I mean, the whole thing was amazing. So that's just, yeah, tabloid nonsense. So let's see. Okay, so let's move on. So that oh, this really, I don't know if you guys saw some of the pictures with Meghan. I know I showed the last time I shared some of them that I saw, and I'm sure Baron and Duchess of Success shared a bunch of them as well, and mine aren't as clear as it should be. But if you could see, the thing that I just loved about the pictures, especially the ones with Meghan, is just see how relaxed she was and how smiling. She's with her friends, she's with her extended family, and Nacho and Nacho's wife, of course. I'm just what's her name again? Shoot, I forgot Nacho's wife's name, and Megan's BFF Marcus, and they were all there just relaxing, and then the other picture on the top right of them just sitting on a blanket and just relaxing, enjoying the California sun, and of course Megan in her favorite hat. She loves that hat. And it just warmed my heart so much, because if you guys remember, and someone on Twitter, Squatty on Twitter, posted two pictures, one with the picture of Meghan at the bottom in, what was it, 2019, when Archie was, you see baby Archie is a tiny little one, and just how sad she seemed, because it was just, it's one of those times. A few days earlier, that woman from the press lied about, her telling her bodyguard to tell her to not take pictures at Wimbledon. So that whole thing had blown up. That whole big lie had blown up. And Meghan was there, with Archie, to watch polo. And then the pictures get out, and then women all over were just slamming her for the way she was holding Archie. I mean, it was just a mess. It was just such a sad time. And, and we were pushing back as hard as we can. And it was just, and so looking at where she's come, only what, 2 years, almost 3 years. It's such I'm telling you, when I saw the pictures of her just sitting there with her friends, just laughing and smiling at this polo game, and knowing Archie and Lilibet is home, with whomever, just, they're, doing their little life there, safe and sound and wonderful. It just did my heart so well to know that Meghan is at peace. I mean, for me, it just resonate peace and relax. And I could see why, Harry was like, no, Santa Barbara is my home. And part of why, what he's doing with even playing polo is, Nacho had said, is also to honor his new home. And for me, just to see them smiling and relaxing and hanging with their friends, I'm like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. And so I mean, you can't ask for more for two people, just for them to be happy in a place where they feel at peace, in a place where they feel accepted. And no matter what else is going on in the world, or what anybody else is say on social media, I'm just glad Harry and Meghan are not on social media. They don't know all that nonsense, and they don't pay attention to that nonsense. So I'm just really, 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 I'm really, really happy about that. So thank God. Thank God about that. So yeah, so Ladyfoot says Shuma is another Meghan Markle evolving, inspired by the Duchess herself. Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. um, so yeah, it just does my heart well that our faves are happy. And from that wonderful news on Montecito, since this podcast is about, news from Montecito and then the others from Shutter Island, Omid Scobie, who has transformed into this very truth-telling royal reporter. I was like, kudos to you, Omid. Omid is not playing anymore. Omid is not, he is not buying into the palace narrative. He is speaking truth as he sees it. And and again, I love how much he's evolved. I remember us calling him out back in the day, and to see him get to a point where it's like, no, I'm just going to be a journalist. And I've always had faith that he could, because for me, he's always reported fair on, whether he's reporting on the Cambridges or whomever and the Sussexes. I always felt that he was fair. I mean, yes, he's made mistakes, yes, he said incorrect things, but I've always felt like he tries to be fair. And that's that for me, that's as best as you can ask from someone. So Omen is transformed. And so he wrote he is, like I said the last time, he has a new job. He is working now with Yahoo News, and he is like their executive director, royal executive editor, actually. That's what his role is there. And so he just wrote a new article today, and it says, why tone deaf royal tours have had their day. And it's like, oh. And part of what he was saying, he was saying, it is with an enthusiastic Kate. It was an enthusiastic Kate told me during a pit stop on Prince Edward Island, and amazing opportunity to meet people of all different backgrounds and to learn from them. And he's talking about, what royal tours are, and and what they're, at least the royals are supposed to get out of it, and what the people they're meeting are supposed to get out of it. And so 11 years ago, this is what Kate told them, that it's a great opportunity to meet people from all backgrounds and to learn from them. And so Omen is saying, goes on to say, it's been 11 years since that moment. And while I've been in a number of successful foreign visits since then, recent royal travels have left me questioning just how much has actually been learned. As the modern world fervently tackles critical social challenges and undoing mistakes of the past, the sepia tainted formula with the House of Windsor Global Travel has found itself held back by the palace reluctance to change anything if it still works. And as we can see, what happened with the Sophie and Edward thing, if they think it's working, no matter what is going on, they are not going to change it. And it's like, I don't know why they think it's working, but somehow they think it's working, and they are not in any hurry to change things. And Omen went on to say, but as the Cambridge's ill-fated tour of the Caribbean in March proved, these trips no longer do. Built as a charmed offensive to shore up support for the monarchy across the islands, the colonial throwback and poorly advised photo ops ended up having the opposite effect. Last week, the cabinet of Antigua and Barbuda looked in horror as Prince Edward, in the country with the Countess of Wessex on behalf of the Queen, laughed off an opportunity to engage in meaningful conversation with Prime Minister Gaston Brown, who sat with the couple for several minutes to explain the need for reparatory justice and lasting impact that the transatlantic slave trade and colonialism had on the island. And given this painful, awkward moment, given this painful, awkward moment had been preceded by a letter from the country's Reparation Support Committee referring to the royal family's previous phony sanctimony of slavery, the Earl of Wessex tactless response not only lacked diplomacy, but was also a show of complete disregard for a country that had respectfully welcomed them with open arms. And and then he goes on to say a whole bunch of things, but I love that Scobie addressed just one, the cluelessness, the idea that well, if something works, let's not fix it. And what they're failing to grasp is again, I mean, is that it's not working. If they had I would hope if they had understood it, that it wasn't working with Kate and William, why they would send out the Wessexes to do basically the same thing. And we look at last podcast, we talked about Edward on that, also on that platform thing, which is almost the equivalent of Kate and William in that Jeep thing, is that elevated colonial image that they're, and it's really ridiculous. And I'm so happy Omer had, because a lot of the press has ignored, and they have not been talking about Edward's arrogance and really deplorable behavior, and the fact that Gaston Bra, I mean, yes, I've been side-eyeing him the whole time with basically just laying prostrate before Sophie and Edward. But yes, their behavior towards someone, one, they had that letter, it tells me that they probably never even read that letter from the Reparation Commission, and two, that they sat there in front of that man as he laid out just what the country needs, and for Edward to be laughing and be like, oh yeah, I wasn't taking notes, so then I can't really respond. And then completely ignores it and goes off to talking about the Commonwealth Games and the baton being passed around. I mean, it was deplorable. And there he had an opportunity again to to engage. And yes, maybe he couldn't make promises for whatever, but at least behave like or at least listen enough where you can at least acknowledge what he's saying. The fact that he completely ignored him. And so I'm glad that Omen has brought this up, because the majority, other than Nadine White from the Independent, who I use a lot of her articles when in this area, other than her, no one else really. And I think Peter Hunt from The Spectator, no one else really talked about it. They have definitely, and he even called out a lot of the news because there was a video with this and none of them had used the video. And so I am glad that Omid has gotten to a place where, because they target him a lot, especially the Daily Mail and Dan Wooten, one of the Garbage Twins, and they literally target Omid all the time. And so I'm glad that Omid has gotten to the point where he is just going to lay it out. And I think having that support with Nadine and Dr. Shola and all of those, women, I feel, and I could be wrong, but I feel that is having those people as allies, and they now are tweeting back and forth and retweet each other's tweets. And I feel having that kind of support has really given Omid and helped Omid to get a stronger backbone where he is able to just lay it out. And so I'm just really happy to see that. I'm really happy to finally see a royal reporter willing to speak truth to power. And hopefully, I'm sure the royals don't like it, and they usually retaliate by, they will never give you an interview or give you any exclusives or whatever. But who cares, So um I'm just happy to see that someone is doing it, and I'm glad Omid is finally not paying attention to and not allowing those who are targeting him to intimidate him. So I love this fight. So hopefully he keeps going and goes further with it. So yeah. What y'all saying in the what y'all saying in the chat? Let me see what y'all saying. Teresa is saying, let's pull this down. Let's move this for a second. And okay, now we can read it. Teresa saying, I don't think the one we hardly remember would be the worst. Edward certainly made up for us not even noticing they left the tour just disrespectful. Yeah. It's I didn't even know when it was ending myself, but it just, yeah, I don't I I am a loss for words. I mean, it just I don't even know, like, I mean, I would love to know the kind of conversations they have when they return. I'm assuming there's like a debrief, so who knows? I would love to hear what that debrief was like, what they came back with, especially with those conversation with Gaston Brown. I would be very interested to know what that debrief was like. Incredible. Let's see. Let's see. Sylvia said, oh, sorry. I jumped in a conversation. Maybe I should read these things before I post it up. Joseph says, insanity is when you use the same failed royal colonial playbook over and over and expect a different result. Wake up and smell the rose bush already. Joseph, exactly. Exactly. It's like they're doing this, and no matter, I'm like, don't these people read, don't they read the paper, or watch, or try to get feedback or look at the feedback of how people are responding to these things? I mean, the fact that they sent out Sophie and Edward, who did basically the same thing, tells you they are in this bubble, and they assume whatever they're doing is not broken, so why fix it? I mean, that's that's the only thing I could think, because they don't seem to be in any hurry to fix anything. So, and honestly, I don't think it should be fixed. I think the whole thing needed to be disbanded. I mean, there definitely need to be no more tours in the Caribbean. I mean, none, zero, zilch. They need to just leave, the Caribbean alone. I definitely. Lydia, you're back. I thought you were hanging with your neighbor. Welcome back, Lydia. Lydia says Edward is so smug and arrogant, and you know what? I'm really surprised. I had never really paid attention to Edward before because he is like one of the quietest royal. Like you never hear anything from him. And I always remember in the church, if you guys remember that in the last engagement that Meghan did in the Commonwealth church when Sophie and Kate were just really being mean girls. Edward was the only one that was talking to them. Edward was the only one that was talking to Meghan and Harry. And it's like Edward didn't get the message that he was supposed to be a mean boy. And so I always appreciated that about Edward. Other than that, I didn't never really care because I didn't really pay attention to Edward. So I never knew this side of Edward existed. And I was like, holy mackerel, that's so arrogant and so smug. Yes, exactly, Lydia. That's exactly how, and for me, and I shouldn't be surprised that a royal is that way, but I guess I had owned the only experience or the only thing I had seen about Edward is that where he was actually nice to Harry and Meghan in that church. And so I just assumed that's who he was. And boy, that just hit me smack in my face. Absolutely smack in my face. So yeah, it just Kim Coates says Ahmed learned his lessons about the two-faced British royal family. That's why he had a press pass at Invictus and the RRs wasn't invited. I didn't know Ahmed I mean, I know he was there. I didn't realize. That is awesome. Exactly. I mean, he even had said that someone I guess at Kensington Palace, basically made a comment to him that said something like, "Well, I guess you made your choice basically as to who you're going to support, I guess, because with them it's either you're with them and and tell their positive story only about them and hate the Sussexes, but if you're not writing hate articles about the Sussexes, then that means you can't be be on their side, I guess, or they won't be giving you any exclusives, etc., or any special treatment as they would give reporters who are writing positive saccharine articles about them. So yeah, Omen definitely has had to learn, and it's good. And of course, you know, and I didn't realize about the press pass thing. I know he was at Invictus. I didn't know what the situation was there, but that's also one of the reasons they hate him, because he does, Homie does get exclusives sometimes before the others about the Sussexes. I mean, he does have sources. He does have people close to the Sussexes. So maybe they'll hear things here now and then. I mean, who knows? But they do attack him when he posts things before any other reporter. So, but anyways, moving on. But yeah, it just interesting. Thank you, Kim. And then staying in the Caribbean, Jamaica, I saw this post popped up. It says the government's decision, and this is from the Advocates Network in Jamaica. They are not happy. It says the government's decision to spend millions of taxpayer dollars on Prince William and Kate's visit in the midst of COVID pandemic, it was imprudent. The use of 8 million plus of tax dollars on hosting the couple instead of an urgent need facing Jamaica is a display of gross insensitivity. So yeah, I mean, the Advocates Network in Jamaica, they are also part of they sent a letter to the office of the prime minister to get an account of who paid for what and what exactly did they pay for on that trip in Jamaica. Because again, if you remember, Prime Minister Holness had said that Jamaica isn't paying for the trip; they are simply paying for the security. And then when we look at when the group sent an email or a letter to the office of the Prime Minister to get an itemized list of, okay, was that the case, or did we pay for more stuff? They got this spreadsheet of all the stuff that the government paid for. And not only that, when you added up the thing, there was a discrepancy with the total that they said that they paid for. And then when you added up the itemized list, which we talked about, and I hope that makes sense, when I was trying to explain it in the last post. But this group, they're like, they're not happy. They says, the government's decision to spend millions of taxpayer dollars on the royal visit of Prince William and Kate to Jamaica on March 22nd to 24th, 2022, during the midst of COVID pandemic was impotent. Following the royal visit, members of the Advocate Network submitted access to information ATI requests to the Office of the Prime Minister. Two members received responses from OPN which reflected an inaccuracy in the total sum provided, which we talked about. The Advocates Network sought clarification from OPN, which has not been received to date. However, the details on the inaccuracy were made public by the media, but the network underscores that the total spent on of 8 million for 698.35 remains the same. We note that information for such activities were not provided. For example, spending for paving the roads, yep, that's not on that list. Painting and fixing up trench down communities and the football field where Prince William played football. I had no idea they did that. I had heard about paving the roads. I didn't know they did a whole redoing the football field and all that stuff for Prince William. So that was also not on the bill. And going down to where the other highlighted part, it says, it is alarming that despite the obligation of taxpayers to fund the $407 million allocated to the Governor General's office for fiscal year 2022-23, citizens are barred from obtaining information to say other stuff. But that's the thing. It's like 8 million, and again, understand that 8 million Jamaican dollars, when you do the currency, when you look at it in terms of, say, the British pound, it's like 40 over. Again, when this whole thing started, the Prime Minister said it was only supposed to be security, which they should not have been paying for to begin with. But he said that they're going to cover it because that's what they do if anyone, like head of state, that stuff. On that, where Kate and William went, and they posed that very awkward picture with Bob Marley, with this statue or the cutout of Bob Marley, and where they played where they played football, where they were shaking hands with the kids and the people through the cost of that is on that bill. And that's what they are upset about, as they have every right to be. And it goes on to say, just the highlighted part, it says the Advocate Network thinks the government's decision to prioritize the use of more than $8 million of our hard-earned tax dollars on hosting the royal couple instead of addressing many of the urgent needs facing our country is a display of gross insensitivity. And I agree completely. And again, we did this, I shared with you guys this this breakdown of the budget, at the last episode. And if you look on the absolutely far right, you will see, that's where I converted it into pounds, and so you can see what the breakdown is. For example, the state dinner is, over $4 million in Jamaica money, but if you convert it to pounds, it's $21,000. And if you go all the way down where it says the total OPM, which is the blue on the left side, and you go across, you will see the total amount that they claimed the is the actual cost, the overall amount of everything is, just over $8 million. And if right on it to be just over 41,000 pounds. And again, if you were to, calculate the itemized portions of this, you will not get $8 million, over $8 million. You will actually get, if you look at where it says actual total itemized, from the above list, you will just get under $6 million, or 30,000 pounds. And then so there's a discrepancy of 2 million, just over $2 million, which, I shared, they had, updated that $2 million went for welfare and hospitality. And so again, I was assuming that welfare and hospitality possibly meant security. But then again, when you think of security is usually the largest part of a bill. The fact that, the state banquet would be 4 million and the security would be 2 million, that doesn't ring true at all. And again, that does not ring true at all. And again, as they were saying, the repairs on the road, the football field, trench down, all of that stuff, all of those repairs, none of that is on this bill. So the whole thing is, this whole trip has cost the Jamaican people a lot more than they said it was going to be. And in again, if you translate this, they said that the absolute total is 8 million, which is just over 41,000 pounds. Kensington Palace should be picking this up. 41,000 pounds and whatever else they're not putting on this bill because maybe they're afraid for the Jamaican people to know. This is nothing for Kensington Palace to pick up. Okay, this is nothing. When you think in terms of the royal family just shelled out over, about 12 million pounds, that thing keeps fluctuating, to Virginia, this total should be a drop in the bucket for them. Jamaicans should not have to bear the brunt of this, and I love what I love what this organization did, because they went ahead and they said, look, these are all these things that this money could have gone into. Instead of using our money, our hard-earned tax money, to fund royals, it could have gone into, there are 30,000 kids missing from school because they have to go work to support their family or whatever, and they're forced into criminal activities. That could have funded those 30,000 kids. It could have funded 250 children up to 4 months, giving them extra lessons because of severe learning loss. It could have funded over 100 tertiary students whose parents have lost jobs or business, especially during COVID. It could have provided 200 rural children with tablets or photocopies lessons for children without internet, because again, COVID, they can't go to school. A lot of kids can't get the education because they don't either have tablets, they don't even have ways to get photocopies to the kids because they don't have the money. It could provide running water, flush toilets for rural schools. It could also have provided 8,000 children breakfast at school for at least a month. This trip literally has taken food out of children's mouths. They have taken running water from people. This trip is taking, it could also have funded 1,056 early childhood institutions that right now fail to meet the standard where they can actually help kids. And the fact is, Kate is supposedly in how, really helping kids to be raised in in a society or community that can help their development. And this literally takes money away from that. And so I I'm so glad that they put it out there in words that this whole thing has cost the Jamaican people and people all over the Caribbean these ridiculous thoughts that's caused all of them that is literally taking food out of the kids' mouths. And this should shame the royal family. This needs to be like, they need to be shamed because of this. And I hope that more and more people send this to them. Like, this is what you did to these people. You went there, you ate their food, you drank their wine, you soaked up their culture, and you took food out of children's mouths. Because of you, this money that was spent on you could have provided schools with running water and flushing toilets. It could have educated kids who don't have the means of an internet where they can just at least get photocopies of schoolwork so that they can have an education. This took that away from them so that billionaire royals could come and party for a few days and be on vacation for a few days. This is why this is so aggravating to me. And this is why every island should have done what Grenada did. Say no. Say no. I mean, this is this is, beside the point now. It's opens again. And again, the royal family needs to pay this bill. They need to pay the bills in the Caribbean. Caribbean islands are struggling. This is people are trying to barely making it out of a pandemic. Nobody asked for this tour. They should not be paying for it. And this makes me so aggravated. I was so aggravated when I about, they're about childhood education and childhood development. Oh, man. It is just so. Oh, Kate Herrera. Kate says the royal family keeps bleeding people dry in the islands and are okay. Oh, are the UK people? They don't care. No, they don't. And that's the thing, Kate. They don't. They do not care. They do not care. And so again, Grenada, I wish they were all like Grenada. I wish they were all like Grenada and to say, no, it's not worth it for you to come here for us to take our taxpayer, dollars and let our people have to pay for you. I am so glad and so proud of Grenada, their leadership, and the people of Grenada for not having it. Kim says, can I get an amen? Prince Harry and Meghan don't treat people with such disrespect. So glad they left Narnia. Exactly. Exactly. They respect people, and we know when you've seen Harry and Meghan go into, they don't go empty-handed. That's the thing. They do not go empty-handed. Even when they came to New York, it wasn't like a tour, but they came with stuff. They gave Melba. They gave these nooks to kids. They came and bought food to this to the school that they went and gave books and all of these things. They do not come empty-handed. And so it just and that's the thing, how different they think of tours, that they're not there for just this royal protocol of smiling and laughing and shaking hands. That's fine, but you got to come with substance. You got to come to give and not to just get and soak up people's culture and food and all of that stuff and then leave them with a bill. You don't do that in anybody. You go to somebody's house, even when you go to a party, whatever, it's somebody's house, you take something. You take whether it's you know you give back when you go. And so yeah, it just, that's why I'm glad Omid wrote that article, because and I hope to see more of that. And I guess I wish they could be, but they have no shame. They literally have no shame. And I said, and I was talking to Church Lily. She says, my blood is boiling. I have a conscience. I cannot live with myself eating up and watching children starve. They don't care. They do not care in Antigua and Grenada, knowing the islands are struggling in, in Jamaica and Belize, whatever, and not take something. You know what I mean? You would not do it. They don't care. And let's see. V Thomas says, "Hi V." V says, "Yes, pedal. They should indeed. This should indeed shame them. They bring their signed photo as exchange for $8 million, deprive poor people of their survival by trying to show themselves as superiors." And that is the thing. And that's why I think that's why also it's so irksome to see them, especially like Edward on that elevated platform, and then the Cambridges on that Jeep thing that they were. It is so aggravating. Not only did they not, they did nothing to earn any position, any elevated position, but to know that they're depriving poor people and elevating themselves. And I wish governments would start be like, no, you are not, yes, sure, you come here supposedly representing your queen, but no, you're not, you can't inspect my military. No, you cannot be on an elevated platform. No, I wish they would be like, no, and stand up and not allow them to do that nonsense. I mean, they couldn't do it if the prime minister said no. And I wish prime ministers would start saying no. So there you go. Barbara Finley. Hi, Barbara. Barbara says that this was 30,000 spent on two billionaires who couldn't care less if these people live or died. To be frank, I blame the politicians. They are a bunch of sellouts. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what I was just saying. They couldn't do the thing they do. They could not come into the country if the prime minister said no. They couldn't come. And we've seen these, even before this tour. You remember, what was it? Not this past Christmas, but I think it was the Christmas before, when they did that train going to Ireland, and we asked you not to come. It's not a good time, and they just went. And then there was a big embarrassment. Even Boris Johnson's government didn't want to have anything. He didn't want to say it because they were like, well, we asked the government, and they didn't want to confirm it at first. They didn't want anything to do with it. And then finally, I guess the palace got in there, and I don't know, maybe they begged him to say, like, they went on orders of the government or whatever. But Scotland and Ireland said, no, don't. What is it? Wales, I think. I'm sorry. I think it's Wales. I forget. But both of them, that where they went, they told them don't come, because it was in the middle of, and literally there were people on the street calling the police, saying like, the royals are here. Why are they here? We're supposed to be in lockdown, And so, oh no, Church Nelly said my mic is going in and out. Okay. If anybody could tell, let me scroll all the way down. Can you guys tell me if the mic is still going in and out? And if it's oh gosh. Oh, why? So if anyone could just give me a thumbs up, or just send me post something and let me know if you can still hear me correct well, or if it's still going in and out. Oh, I really was hoping for this mic. But anyway, let's go on quickly. So moving on. So I mean, Prince Harry and the security issues, because as we all know, Prince Harry has been going through this stuff with one of the things that, V Thomas is saying it's good now. I am so sorry, guys. Again, this is our mic test. So yeah, if it goes out again, if you can just let me know. Okay. Fire says gave me a thumbs up. Okay, so I guess it's working now. Well, better now. I'm gonna stay right close to it, so hopefully it doesn't, my voice doesn't go out in any way. But so yeah, so Prince Harry's security stuff, as that's been going on. Obviously, that he said that one of the things he does not feel safe going back to the UK because without proper security for his family. And one of the things that's been happening is there are these, especially two security, like former royal protection officers. One of those officers, uh, well, actually, one of them used to work. He was hired by the queen, and the other one used to on these either those morning shows, or some of them, talking to the tabloids like the Mirror. You see, I have the Mirror thing here. And they are the Mirror Mail, and responding to Harry's request and his basically demands for proper security if he's to bring his family there. And so this one went to Guy Davies. He is was a former protection officer. So in response to Harry, saying that he needs proper security, it says, Prince Harry avoiding UK due to safety in is sheer unadulterated nonsense, says expert. Di Davies, a former head of royal protection at Scotland Yard, has dismissed the prince's concern about his security if he is to return to the UK, and says some royals don't get police protection. So this happened on. They are writing this on April 13th. So of course, this issue with Harry and the security, has been going on, since the beginning of the year, something, or late last year, beginning of this year. And so, stuff, it keeps coming up. And one of the things, again, is with him and I forgot the other security guy, his name, but he and Di Davies, they're, for me, like rent them out. Like, the tabloid would rent them, and they would pretty much say what the tabloids want them to say. And here he is, all of a sudden the tabloids is down on Harry and attacking Harry for saying that he needs, proper security. And Di Davies right along with him, completely dismissing Harry. And this is on April 13th. And so that happens. And then, as everyone Harry did that interview with Hoda, and May 20th during I'm sorry, April 20th during the Invictus game, when he was talking about, when speaking with the queen and talking about, him being there, just wanting to make sure that she is protected, and also that, she has the right people around her. So this happens, 7 days later, April 20th, when Harry is talking about. And then we all know how the press went after Harry, attacking in every way the fact that he would dare to let me get Barbara's comment down. Okay, so that we can see all of it. So yeah, so that Harry would dare to, to say that he wants to, he want to make sure that the queen is protected, and she has that she has the right people around her. I mean, the Daily Mail went so far as even to contact Boris Johnson, who his attitude was like, Harry's not here. How dare he, basically be talking about this? He's not here. So he, basically dismissed everything Harry had to say, about making sure that his grandmother, whatever we think of her, but he wants to make sure that she's protected, So that's like 7 days later after Di Davies said that. So 2 days after Harry said, talking about protecting the queen, 2 days later, on April 22nd, this news drops from Sky News. Astonishing crime. And I think we talked about this before. Astonishing crimes reported at royal palaces revealed, with hundreds going unpunished. A total of 470 crimes were recorded at Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace, St. James Place, and Clarence House, either inside or immediately outside the grounds between 2019, and press ignored it. The royal reporters, none of them covering any of this. This is dropped 2 days after they were attacking Harry for saying that he wants to make sure that his grandmother is protecting, only to find out that the space of 2 years between 2019 and 2021, 470 crimes happened within the palaces. It goes on to say, and that includes hundreds of thefts, along with reports of arson, criminal damage, burglary, robbery, possession of weapons, and violence against the person offenses. Less than 1% of the crimes resulted in someone being charged, cautioned, or fined, and no suspects were identified in more than 400 offenses, according to the data released under the Freedom of Information Act. Di Davies, yeah, that same one who was dismissing Harry, Di Davies, a former head of Royal Protection at Scotland Yard, said, "Ooh, that number of crimes is astonishing and frightening." So the former chief superintendent told Sky, "If you can steal and cause incidents at or near the royals, what does that say about the current security?" This is the same person who was literally 2 days earlier, I'm sorry, 9 days earlier, dismissing what Harry was saying, dismissing his saying that he does not feel safe coming to the UK because he needs proper security. This is the same person. It's like, completely disregarding and dismissing him. And now he is saying, you know, that if you can steal or cause accidents at or near the royals, what does that say about the current security? And it's just like, oh, so when Harry needed security, it wasn't important. But now that they know, it's like, oh, the other royals, now they need to, now, that we're seeing that all this stuff is happening around them, let's get concerned about their security. And it's just, I mean, it's just the disparity of, like, and we all know why they don't care if it's just Harry, because when it was just Harry, I mean, even Ken Worth is the other one, the other rent him out. There is a video of Ken Worth talking even to Piers Morgan about Prince Harry, how much, yes, he definitely needs security because he is a person, he is a high risk. And then if you hear Ken Worth now completely dismissing Harry, since Harry was like, no, we need security to bring my family back. Same thing, completely dismissing of him, you know. And so it's very interesting, again, that the same Di Davies who was dismissing Harry about 9 days earlier, all of a sudden is concerned about this security at the palaces. Unbelievable. And then this dropped last night. And it's funny because Talk TV is it's Rupert Murdoch, oddly enough, Rupert Murdoch, his new channel, which the other garbage twin has his show, and I will not even say his name. But oddly enough, they were the one to actually break this news. And all of last night, most of today, nobody picked it up. And so I was just like, I kept tweeting and tweeting and tweeting about it and tweeting about it. And slowly and surely people started picking up, because then I noticed that even the Today Show picked it up. And it says the news desk reveal how a fake priest claiming to be an ejector seat pilot infiltrated Victoria Barracks, a sensitive military base next to Windsor Castle, where the Queen is currently in residence. And so again, this story dropped and most people just completely ignored it. Today, instead of broadcasting and investigating the story, they were talking about the Queen's horse not being able to ride in, June 4th. I guess they're having this big race for the Jubilee thing, and her horses wouldn't be at the Jubilee. Instead of talking about the fact that somebody broke into Windsor, they're talking about the horse. That's what the reporters were doing. And so finally, HuffPost wrote about it, and it says a fake priest reportedly conned his way into the Queen's Guard barracks. The British Army said Tuesday that it launched an urgent investigation after an intruder posing as a priest reportedly spent the night at the barracks of troops who guard Queen Elizabeth II at Windsor Castle. The Sun newspaper, amazingly enough, the tabloids are the ones that broke the story, and it turned out that it's all true. I guess, as Stacey Abrams says, even a broken clock is right twice a day. And there you go. The Sun newspaper and broadcast Talk TV reported that a man was admitted to Victoria Barracks last week after claiming to be a friend of the battalion padre, which is the priest there. It said he spent the evening eating and drinking with senior officers before being offered a bed for the night, despite showing no identification or credentials. They basically let somebody in who had no credentials, nothing, and they let him in. They allowed him to eat, drink, hang out with them, and sleep overnight. And then Omid picked up the story. It says, dressed as a priest, this man arrived at the barracks of the Queen Household Division of Soldiers on April 26th. April 26th, that date is the day that Invictus ended. And if we remembered, on the 22nd, Harry was talking about was it 2020, the 20th? Harry was the 20th. Harry was talking about his grandmother's security. Before Invictus even ended, on the same day Invictus ended, actually, is when this all happened. That this man conned his way in as a priest um on April 26, claiming to be a friend of the Coldstream Guards military chaplain, despite his unexpected evening arrival at the gates of Victoria Barracks. The unnamed man was given entry to the building, which sits just 250 meters away from the Queen's Windsor Castle apartment. He then spent the night eating and drinking with senior officers and was offered a bed for the night. Within a couple of hours, he was drinking with the officers at the bar, telling them stories of how he had served in Iraq and the source continued. Although they were suspicious that the man was not a bona fide priest, additional security checks weren't carried out or authorities alerted until the following morning, just 3 hours before the Queen returned to Windsor Castle. And this is like, these are these people, and yes, these are those guys with the, in the red, who does that, that thing out front with the, marching, the same ones who knocked over that little black kid and went straight marching along and not even look back to see if the little kid was okay. Yeah, those are the ones. Those are the ones that are protecting the Queen. These people let this man in, claiming that he's a priest and that he served in Iraq. Let him in, no credentials, nothing, even though they were suspicious. They didn't do any security checks, and they didn't they didn't get the police in there to get him out until just 3 hours before the Queen came back. And we know the Queen was at Sandringham and came back the next day. And 3 hours before she got back is when they got this guy out. And these are the people that are supposedly protecting the Queen. Yet the royal family has allowed the press to attack Harry in every kind of way, even the prime minister attacking Harry. And yet here is her guards allowing someone with no security checks to be, and it's so funny because I was like, okay, let me see how close this barracks really is to the Queen. It says this is like a 6-minute walk from where the barracks is, where Victoria Barracks is at the bottom, to where up to Windsor Castle is about a 6-minute walk. And they allowed this guy 6 minutes away from the Queen. Now, it turns out the guy wasn't he didn't have, I don't know, maybe he was drunk, maybe he was just mentally whatever, I don't know. But if this guy had some really intention of, say, hurting the Queen, he was just 6 minutes away. And the guards are like, oh, come in, here's food. Oh, you want to sleep you want to stay the night? Here's a bed. And then he gets up the next morning and got food. And then 3 hours before the Queen came, that's when they're like, okay, there is something wrong. Let's get the cops in to get him out. And it's just like, this is who is protecting the Queen. And then y'all are upset at Harry about making sure that he gets security. And it's like unbelievable to me. I'm like, they're going to get this woman killed. I'm amazed that's something, and we know that not too long ago, some guy came in and was very close to her apartment at Windsor. He was able to breach the security, and he was there with like a bow and arrow thing or something like that. I mean, if it seems like anybody could just breach their security, like they are just so lax. And I'm like, please, Harry, stay away from that place. Because again, where Victoria Barracks is, and I looked up, oh shoot, I should have brought that in too, of where Frogmore is from where Victoria Barracks is, and it's about a 10-minute walk from Victoria Barracks to get to Frogmore Cottage. These are the people that supposedly protecting the royal household. They're protecting, I guess, Windsor Park, and I'm assuming there are other protection people there as well. But I mean, if they could do this, goodness knows what, if they're doing this with the Queen, imagine what they would do with Harry and Meghan, because they're all the way down at the bottom of the totem pole. They're like, well, not bottom, but at least six in line. They would not care at all. And so I am just like, what on earth? And whatever you think of Queen Betty, I'm like, look, this is an elderly woman who is living by herself and just there with staff. You don't want something to happen to her, but these are the people. And now that the military are like, they're going to be doing a thorough investigation. And so, and the fact that a lot of the mainstream press are not carrying this, and royal reporters are not really talking about this, it's like they're trying to hide this. Again, this happened on the 26th, the same day that was the end of Invictus Games. This is when this happened, and we're just finding out about this now. It seems like somebody was trying to hide this and somebody leaked it. And so it's just like, I'm like, Harry, please, I don't care what these people say, keep your family home, because this place is not secure at all. If they would do that to the Queen, and she is supposed to be the head of state, what are they going to do to Harry and Meghan and their kids? I don't trust any of these people to protect anybody. So, I mean, I don't know. It is unreal to me. So, but let's see what you guys are saying. I'm sorry, I was just talking a lot. Carolyn says, they are keeping quiet about the fake priest who got past security at the palace. Security at the palace is in sham. It is, because also too, right after Harry brought up about making sure about the Queen's security, there was apparently they were putting in there was a notice out about hiring a security person, an overall security person for the Queen. So there is a problem with security, and they've known it and are hiding it. And so, and now with Harry speaking out about it, it's kind of like they're trying to cover their backs in a lot of ways, because Harry has, and I'm glad Harry brought him, and I'm sure Harry was like, you know what, let me put that out there in the public so that they know that what's going on. Because if they would do that and be this careless with the Queen, goodness knows what what else they're careless with. This is unbelievable. And again, not too long ago, somebody breached their security with like a crossbar, bow, whatever those bow and arrow things are. But yeah, it's unbelievable. Fire says, Di Davies is contradicting himself. Di Davies and Ken Wolf, I swear to you guys, they are rent them out. They, from what they said in the past about security and what they're saying now, especially about Harry, it's completely the opposite. I mean, there is a video where Ken Wolf was, he was like so adamant to even Piers Morgan about, because he was on GMB that a while ago, and he was talking about like, no, Harry does need security. He is high risk. And to hear Ken Wolf now, completely different story. And it's kind of like those two are whatever the tabloids or whomever want me to say, and they pay them to say, that's what they say. It's like, you're supposed to be security and people are supposed to trust you, And Di Davis always like to say, yes, I worked for the Queen. I was hired by the Queen. And The only date we heard is that it's 1995. I'm like, security now and 1995 are two very, very different things, and he sells himself like an expert and all of those things, which they all are, royal experts and all of those things, which they all sell themselves at. But right, frankly, when I look at that, in my opinion, they're just rent amounts. That's what I see. Total rent amounts. Um, let's see. Shill says the people of Jamaica is her treasure. When you refuse to see that, they keep us down, so the excellence of what is happening there. Sheila, I'm not sure I understand what you're saying. The people of Jamaica is her treasure. When you refuse to see that, that keeps us down, see the excellence of what is happening there. I'm not sure I understand. It could be one of those things where my brain is not functioning and at 9:10 p.m. So I am so sorry. If you can explain, that would be so awesome, and so I understand, because I really want to understand what you're saying. Thank you so much. Oh, Lorna this thinks the same way. She says these rent amounts have no shame. Yeah, they one are rent amounts. And no, they have no shame. And it's like, especially the fact that they claimed, they used to, have credible positions where, honorable positions, and to see people like that where they will say anything for money, is it's really sad. It's really like, oh, why would you do that? You put your reputation, your, anything of worth that you had, and you put it there, and give it away to a tabloid for. It's like, I just don't understand it. I really, really, really just don't understand it. um let's see. Let's see who else is talking. Oral. Hi, Oral. Oral says, I didn't see it in the news here in London until I heard it on the Squatty podcast. And assuming you're talking about, I'm assuming, Oral, that you're talking about this. Yeah, if you're talking about the guy who, conned his way into Victoria Barracks, yeah, most of them weren't reporting it. And it was only late this evening that I saw Scobie wrote about it. Yes, Scobie again. He wrote about it for Bazaar, and then I saw it in the Guardian. And apart from that, it was just the Sun wrote about it, and then I saw it last night when the Talk TV first brought it. And it was just like, for all morning, nobody has said a word. And I'm like, nobody is reporting. Your queen, your head of state, yes, she was at Sandringham at the time, who knew, that she would be there. I'm sure the guy probably didn't know. But the fact is, someone, conned their way into a barracks that's supposed to be protecting the queen, and y'all don't think that's an issue. You don't think it's important enough. And now, instead of talking about that, you're talking about her horse not running in this horse race. It's unreal to me. And that's, again, these people are not journalists. They are not journalists. You would think that would be, that would be the important thing that they would, that they would be talking about. Hawk Island says, fake priest did that. Oh, too funny. Good for him if he was hungry. You know, well, he was definitely fed. I think the thing is, he is not the problem. The problem is he didn't break into the barracks. The problem is the soldiers let him in. That's the thing. They let in someone into their barracks with no security, with no passes, with no identification, no security check, nothing. Not only did they let him in, they fed him, they had drinks with him. Not only that, instead of be like, okay, bye, they gave him a place to sleep at night. So when all of them were sleeping at night, this guy could have done anything. One, to them, they could have done anything, you know. Again, it's only 6 minutes away from Windsor Castle. He could have done anything if he was there with really malicious intent and some way to harm the queen or whomever. He was only 6 minutes away. And so it's like, yeah, they are the ones. And even when they were suspicious, they still did not do security check. I mean, this whole Whomever was on duty that night, the whole team need to be fired. How can you trust any of these people to keep anyone secure? If I was in that position, I would want none of these people anywhere around me. None of them. Because you cannot trust these people to secure anything if they're going to allow that to happen. So they compromise every single thing. That whole unit needs to go. Let's see. Lottie, hi Lottie. Lottie says that man could have killed all of them. Yeah. With some kind of post. Yeah. He could have killed all of them. That's the thing. If he had, in malicious intent, he could have killed all of them. And, good, it was lucky that the queen was, she came in the next day and, but again, they only got him out 3 hours before she got there. So if this guy had any kind of malicious intent and, the queen was, anything could have happened. That's why it's like, you got to fire that whole team. None of them should be working there, but I'm sure they won't. Amazing. Beverly says, like Baron says, we know that priest wasn't a person of color. That's it's so funny. I thought that because I'm like, I actually thought that because I was like, if this guy was black, he wasn't getting past that gate. He was not gonna get past that gate. And yeah, it's just unbelievable to me that they allow that to happen. Iris, hi Iris. Iris says, that's because he was white. If he was black, he would have been beaten and thrown into jail. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, this guy was not going to get past the gate. He was not going to get past the gate. So yeah, it's just, yeah. Amazing. Carmen says, no wonder Harry was concerned about his grandmother's safety. Yeah. Again, even hearing about the guy who breached the security with the bow and arrow thing, yeah, I would be very concerned that he breached that, and from the, maybe, from the looks of things, who knows, maybe one of them invited him in too, it's just like, since they're just inviting people in, maybe one of them did. It's unreal. It's unbelievable. It's like unbelievable that this is happening. And again, there is no outrage. No outrage. They were outraged at Harry for wanting to protect his own grandmother, but there is no outrage for soldiers who allowed someone into the barracks that are supposed to, people who are supposed to be, protecting the queen. There is no outrage about this. They don't even want to talk about it. And that is the thing that is just so despicable. And I'm sure the majority of Britain don't even know this story. They probably have not even heard, because the majority of, especially their most popular press, I guess, are not reporting it. So yeah, unreal. Imelda, she says, this is so ridiculous. It's also ridiculously hilarious. The officers are jokers. They ate and drank with the culprit. They're more concerned about getting drinking partner. I guess so. It's like, let's do a Boris Johnson, It's amazing. It is amazing. Kim says, once again, Prince Harry was right. After his breach of security, please, Harry, don't bring your family to the UK for the Jubilee. I hope he doesn't. I literally, maybe they could do another, if he wants to visit, and so that, Lily can see, and Lily and Archie could see their great grandmother, do another ninja stuff. I wouldn't trust any of this stuff at all. I don't trust. They are incompetent. They are grossly incompetent. And that's the thing about this, is like, there is such gross incompetence, and when people are pointing it out, instead of taking the time to self-reflect, it's like they have no self-awareness. So when people are pointing out, it's like, well, don't attack me, you're trying to attack me. And it's like, that's why they don't grow as people. That's why they're not growing, because when someone is pointing out your stuff, at least it's like, okay, maybe, but it's like, Harry is like, I'm here, I want to protect my grandmother. it got to the point where Eamon Holmes want to throw them off a balcony because they say that. Meanwhile, where is Eamon Holmes that with this security guy, with these security people? Nothing. No one has said a word. No one has said a word. And so it's unreal to me. But all I gotta say is Queen Betty better be sleeping with one eye open because she's gonna need to be alert because you never know with these people. Let's see a few more. Evelyn, hi Evelyn Orchid. Evelyn says, Harry needs the security. Harry knew the security was sparkless, because he and Meghan passed by without checks. That's very interesting because I was thinking about that when they did their ninja thing. Did they pass by security? Did the security, like I don't know. I don't I don't know. But by the looks of things, they could have just gotten in there and nobody's, who knows? I don't know. Um, would I be surprised if there was no security there? No, I would not be surprised at all. So I would not be surprised at all. So Ladyfoot, let's see. Ladyfoot says, the fake priest well knew that this whole matter of royalty and monarchy has become nothing but a dog and pony show, as fake as a $3 bill. And yeah, I mean, Prince Harry says they're only, basically attacking them because they don't want the truth to come out. They're talking about the press. There's a truth that none of them want to come out, and which is that, I believe is the emperor has no clothes there. This whole thing is a fake. It is a wool that's pulled over people's eyes to make them think this royal thing is it's nonsense. And so yeah, it yeah, I guess I mean, they're about as real as the fake priest, one being a priest and one being an Iraq vet. It's just like, if he feels like he can go in and lie about it, hello. So let's look at a few more. Jessica, hi Jessica. Jessica says, between finding cocaine in the barracks and 10 Downing Street, I am not surprised. Yeah, it's so funny. I heard about that today. That there is I think there was an investigation in the military barracks, and they found cocaine, and then the mess with Boris Johnson and 10 Downing Street, and it is just a mess. I mean, not that the US is any better, you know what I mean? I mean, we are our mess too. So, far be it for me to be just downing what's going on in the UK. But, for purposes of this, because we're talking about royals, this is messed up. This is seriously messed up. So, yeah. Zuzika. Oh, I like that name. Zuzika Zama. Ooh, Zuzika Zama. She says, imagine it took Harry from Montecito to highlight the danger the Queen is exposed to, and yet they criticize him for having a sharp eye. And that's the thing. I mean, Harry is military. Of course, he's going to notice that. Of course, he is going to notice that, security is not where it needs to be. The people who are around them are not paying attention as they should. Of course, he's going to notice that. And even more so, it's kind of like that thing where, the person who is in a house, say, or in a room for like 5, 6, 7 hours, if there's a stink, they most likely won't smell it. It'll take a person coming from outside to be like, ooh, something is rank in this room. You know what I mean? And it's kind of one of those. And instead of them thinking, oh, yeah, maybe Harry has a point because it's his grandmother, but no, they allow the press to go over a cliff, and to the point where they're threatening to kill Harry and Meghan. And so it's just like unreal. Absolutely unreal. And again, it's like that underestimating, or willfully underestimating what Harry is saying, and willfully, I mean, we're in a place where in 2020 Harry's the one that's like, look, we all have to deal with the past, especially with colonization and with slavery and all of that stuff. And we need to deal with it. What did they do? They attacked him and Meghan in every sense of the word. And look what they did. They went to the Caribbean and made idiots of themselves and offend the whole Caribbean. And it's just like, yeah, again, Prince Harry talks about these things, and because they grossly underestimate what he says and they completely don't respect what he says, they continue to do this kind of mess. And it's unreal. So let's see a couple more. We're almost done. um, Cookies and Cream says the unroyal family is treacherous. Sussexes need to stay far away as possible from these ungodly, dishonest, immoral, indecent people. And like literally far away. I'm like, if you want to do ninja and just to let your kids see the queen and jet back out of there, I mean, that's the only way. I mean, obviously, if they choose another way, I respect them. They know what's best for them. But I'm like, I just don't want them. For me personally, if I had a choice, which I don't, but if it was up to me, I'd be like, no, absolutely not. I am out of here. So I'm not going to be there. Mary, hi, Mary says poor security is deliberate. I believe it is. I absolutely believe it is. It's like, yeah, there's something not adding up with any of that stuff to me. Yeah, absolutely. Um, let's see. Kim says, I told Baron earlier, this is a modern Game of Thrones. QE2 made needs to take a trip to Montecito to see Archie and Lily. There's empty rooms. She'll be much safer there. It's so funny when when I first heard what Harry said about the queen, about being concerned about the people around her, etc. I was thinking, like, if it were up to Harry and Harry could do it, and the queen, I mean, I don't know with her age if she could fly, and if she could fly that long. I don't know, because she is in a fragile state, so I don't know if that is possible. But I was imagining if Harry had his way, he will steal his grandmother and get her to Montecito, far away from those people. And I was imagining Harry stealing Queen Betty and flying her off to Montecito. And I believe if he could do it, he would. He just love whatever we think of the queen. He loves his grandmother and he wants her to be protected. And frankly, if he did, I wouldn't blame him. I honestly wouldn't blame him, because I don't even, I have I don't have no any kind of thing in this game, but she is an elderly lady. I grew up with my grandmother, so I do have, for me, it's a sensitive thing, especially when you that age, because it's like you become a baby, become a little, innocent. Well, I don't know about the queen being innocent, but you know what I mean? You're in like that fragile state again, and it's kind of like that circle that goes, and so I don't want anything to have, unseemly to happen to her. If she's gonna go, let her go naturally. And so it just, yeah, it's very concerning. And again, whatever I think about her or anybody else think of her, she is the head of state. And so she needs to be protected, and she needs to have proper protection. The way I would want Harry and his family to be protected, she needs to be protected. Again, she is the head of state no matter what. So, Kate says, Petal sounds like somebody can't wait to be king. Something isn't right. Huh. Obviously have no proof of any of that. I have no proof or anything, but, would I be surprised? No, I will not. But, again, it's one of those things. I'm like, Queen Betty, you better keep an eye open. You need to be alert, though, because those people are not protecting you the way you need to be protected. Definitely not. Anna says, Kate Herrera, I hope the monarchy is abolished when William and Kate turn comes up, and I hope to live to see it. Child, I hope that thing gets abolished way before then. I don't even want to see, although he's been waiting over 50 years. Good Lord. Can you imagine waiting over 50 years for a job? Prince Charles. I mean, I want it gone, like yesterday. So when Queen Betty is done, be like, shoot, let this thing be over, So let's see. One more. Let's see. Anita. Hi, Anita. Anita says, hi, all. Can we please hold governments of these countries accountable for their actions? After all, the government choose to spend the people's money on this nonsense. After all, no one put a gun to the government. Said, Anita, yes, exactly. This is exactly it. The royals could not come in if the government of these islands did not say yes, and for whatever reason, they took the people's money, hard working people's tax dollars that should have been going into the communities and into education and all of those things. They took the people's money to entertain billionaires. And it is unconscionable. And I haven't heard, I don't know for the other countries other than Jamaica, if they requested from their governments that an itemized list of what they paid for the Cambridges, but it's like it is unconscionable to do stuff like this, you know and people are working, they a lot of people are poor and whatever else, and they need so much stuff that you gotta take that money and be entertained like that. I still can't get over that $4 million banquet. I'm like, God Lord, you know and so it just I am very, very upset. I am very, very upset at the things that they could have done with that money that they gave, and they used that money to entertain William and Kate. And that again, I mean, I feel like, you know, I wish we had a bigger platform where I would, because I am all about shaming them. I'm sorry. I'm like, I want them shamed, and which probably doesn't mean anything because they have no shame, so they'll probably just ignore it. But still, I want there to be a public outrage. I want there to be an uproar about this. I want there to be like, no, that they know, like, I want them, when they are going out in their engagement, whatever, for reporters to stop pulling back. Yes, we know they don't like to ask questions or whatever, but I wish that reporters in the UK, when they go out, that they fight to be able to question them, because you can never question them. You can never ask them anything when they're going to engagement. You're just there to take pictures. You don't even, you're not even privy to what they're talking about. And so I just, like, I don't understand why, you know, support, well, their rota is tabloid. So I guess that's the answer right there. I'm just like, I just oh, I just would, the one thing that I'm hoping for is, for by the end of the year, that all of our Sussex platforms, and I am so happy to see Barron's. I mean, Barron's platform is doing amazing. Duchess of Success I mean, she is growing amazing. Their new platform, new uh podcasts coming in. I think one just started it. I think it's Portuguese, and I mean, I am just hoping that all our platforms, and I'm hoping that ours even grow a lot faster, so that way it has more influence, and when we talk about these things, that more people would hear it, and it will cause an uproar, because a lot of times the royal reporters who cover them are not speaking up. They, because again, they are royalists. They don't want it, they're not going to say something that's negative against, because that's where they get their bread and butter, you know? And so there needs to be outside voices who are calling these things out. And so that's why I'm hoping that, all of our platforms, because I think the more of us, then the more people are apt to listen, and so that's what my hope is. But more and more and more, hopefully quicker, that all our platforms really grow, and so that we will have more influence and say, because as even when they come to American television, it's just the same people, the same royal reporters bringing their lives. They're not coming with a any kind of different perspective. It's the same lies that they're telling on the UK television or writing in the press. It's the same lies they're bringing to the US. So there need to be different voices. So I think if our platforms grow, they will have more respect for the things that we're saying, because we're speaking facts. We're not making stuff up like royal reporters. So that's what I think, so y'all can help us grow if possible. Please share, like this video, share it with your friends, so to help grow. I know you guys do the same with the Dusters of Success and with Baron and Sussex Squad podcast and all of that stuff. Please, please, please help us grow so that we'll have more of influence, so that we can bring these stories that royal reporters are not talking about. We can bring it to people so that they will know, because they need to know. People need to know the truth. They deserve to know the truth. So yeah. So enough about that. Finally, onto positive stuff. Finally, save the date again in 3 days. And some of you 2 days, because I know in the UK and stuff it's tomorrow already. It's the 4th already. May 6th to May to June 4th is going to be the Squadathon. Where we'll be donating stuff for, I guess I'm assuming it's for World Central Kitchen, but we don't know yet. I guess on May 6th we'll know where we'll be donating to. And again, it's in honor of big boy Archie, his birthday May 6th, and baby Lily, who will be 1 year old on June 4th. And so this campaign, the Squadathon, is literally going to go live London time at 5:26 a.m. 5:26 a.m. London time, and then you see Eastern time US, which is 12:26 a.m. and Pacific time at 9:26 p.m. I guess on the 6th. So the moment, so those are when it's gonna go live. When the Squadathon is gonna start, it's gonna go live, and then we'll have all the information. And as soon as I have all the information, I will post it most likely in our community page, so you'll see that pop up there. So it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be wonderful, no matter what they throw at the Sussexes. I know the squad are really, when we have these things going, we are completely focused on it, and we just rock it out. So save your coins, if you're able, so that way you can participate. And even if you can't participate in this, then, in your local community, it'll be great to give in your local community as well. But, so we're going to be promoting this, and as soon as we have more information, I will drop it. And so anyways, thank you guys. That's it. That's all I got. I've been blabbing for 2 hours, over 2 hours. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on my mic test. And I'm so sorry that it kept going in and out again with mics. It's always a thing with mics. But thank you guys so much. And let's see, I'm gonna do a couple more, just a couple more, what people are saying, because I just love you guys. I want to hear what you're saying. Beverly, hi Beverly. Beverly says Prince Harry is telling the truth about his grandmother. It needs better protection. He knows that making Camilla queen as fake, that this did not come from his grandmother. Like Harry says, the queen tells him things that she doesn't tell other people. We know that for sure, because he ninja'd himself and Meghan in there. So yeah, definitely. Let's see. One more. Let's see. What is Jenny H? Hi, Jenny H. Jenny H says, remember Prince Harry? Funny. Great minds think alike, Jenny H. Jenny H says, remember, Prince Harry says he and Queenie talk about things that she doesn't talk to about others. So absolutely. Yes. So we love that, I would be in, to be a a little fly on the wall to hear the things that they talk about, and must be very interesting what he talks with grandma about. But anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for all the mic check feedback. I appreciate it. So I know that the mic goes in and out. I'm gonna try to do it a recording of it again tomorrow to see just what that is like when it goes in and out. I am so sorry. I have first time using a podcast mic. So again, thank you guys so much who have donated and helped me to get this mic. I hope it works better the next time I use it. Oh, it would be quite a shame if it doesn't, because I'm very, very excited about it. So thank you again for your support. Please, again, if you can hit like, share, let's put on so I can banner. Yeah, let's put that on so that it's right there. So please also join our channel. That's another way you can support us. You can monthly, so that we, again, stuff like getting a mic and stuff like that, we can do stuff like that. So thank you so much. You can also we do have merchandise which you can get. The link will be in the show notes. As soon as this is done, I'll be dropping it in the show notes. And also the print in the back, the art print, it's in the same link. If you're interested in getting that, that is also available. That's my dad's, as I always tell you guys. And so, yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I honestly, I was like, if there are one or two people around, I know it's a little late and it's last minute, but 307 of my favorite people are here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really, really, really appreciate every single one of you. And thank you all. And I'm going through all the comments. I am slow in going through because I read all of them. So there are quite a bit. So I'm still going through them. So if you haven't gotten a response from me, know it's coming because I'm going through all of them. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Church Nelly, for being our amazing moderators and hanging out with us. I will say, let's see who I didn't say hello to. Earlier, Lavertha, hello, Lavertha. Carolyn, not sure if I said hello to you. Did I? I don't think so. Ginger, hello. Oh no, Gina. I'm sorry, Gina. Butterfly. Oh, hello, Butterfly. How are you? Gloria. Let's see. Jenny H. Let's see who else I did not say hello to tonight. Sarah. Hello, Sarah. Classy LaCroix. I love that. It's very it sounds very New Orleans. I don't know. That's when I saw the name, I was like, yeah, New Orleans. And of course, I'm sure I'm completely wrong. Jody Stacy, yes, hello. I didn't say hello to you today. Let's see who else is here. V Thomas. Hi, V Thomas. Razara, hi, how are you? Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. And if I didn't see you at all, I didn't say you, please say hello to me in the chat, and I love to hear from you. So, but we are gonna say goodnight, and we are gonna go out with some music as usual. And yep, let's get some music going. And I hope that is playing because when I have my mic on, I cannot hear a thing. So I hope that is playing. And so anyways, have a great night, guys. And I will see you next time. Bye.